would bring about the constitution and inauguration of a substantive board for the NDDC by Buhari. The group further congratulated Umana on his successful swearing-in by the president and also lauded the immediate past Minister of Transportation, Chibuike Amechi, for his role in the appointment of the new Niger Delta Affairs Minister. We take a look at security. Service Chief Maxala with soldiers. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Isiaka Amao, and their counterparts in Navy were in Maiduguri on the day of the Eid el-Kabir celebration, hosting the wounded, sick soldiers, and other troops of Operation Hadim Kari to launch as part of the moral-boosting effort in the theater of operation. Speaking during the event for the Northeast Troop at the Mailari Cantonment, Maiduguri, Army Boss Lieutenant General Yahaya said, it was his pleasure to facilitate with all officers, soldiers, as well as civilian staff of the Nigerian Army and their families. General Yahaya, represented by the Chief of Policy and Plans, Nigerian Army, Major General Andrew Omozeje said, indeed, the nation has been faced with myriad of security challenges which have distorted the livelihood of all citizens. Nevertheless, the Nigerian Army has continued to employ effective means to tackle these challenges through professional conduct of its officers and men in the field. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Isiaka Amayo, assured of the continuous air support as the troops of Operation Hadim Kari tackles insurgency in the Northeast. The CAS was represented by the Chief of Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal Charles Owo. He commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the procurement of new platform, which was a game changer in the counter-insurgency war, and reiterated the Air Force continuous support for the ground troop. Let's look at the ASU story. Federal government will soon resolve strike, says Opia. Newly appointed Minister of State for Education, Honorable Goodluck Opia, has assured that the Muhammadu Buhari administration is committed to ending the ongoing strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and get the students back to school soon. Opia gave the assurance in Owerri while fielding questions from journalists during a reception organized in his honor by his friends. He emphasized that the challenges in the education sector are surmountable, adding that the federal government is not relenting in finding solutions and ending ASU strike. The former Imo speaker expressed optimism to make impact in the ministry and the education sector, working with the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu. And on the health sector, medical workers plan solidarity strike with ASU. Disturbed over the prolonged strike by university-based unions leading to closure of public tertiary institutions since February, the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria has disclosed plans to down tools should the government refuse to resolve all issues that would allow students return back to school sooner. A statement signed by the union's national president, Comrade Biobelo Moye Josiah, and acting secretary, General Awolo Kiyawa, on Sunday in Abuja, disclosed that all state councils have already been placed on a red alert and are waiting for the directives. Condemning the government's attitude towards the strike and students' continued stay at home, the health workers expressed concern over the huge resources being channeled to service political ambitions rather than pursuing a robust academic future to further advance the nation's development. We take a look at the Nigerian Army. Governor Matawale wants security agents to retire at 70. The Zamfara State Governor, Bello Matawale, has called for the extension of the retirement age of personnel of the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police Force, and other security agencies to 70 years. The governor spoke on Sunday in Maradun Town, his country home, when he received a coalition of civil society organizations who conducted a peaceful rally in support of his government's recent security policies on residents bearing arms. He said if the federal government could extend the retirement age of medical doctors, university lecturers, and judges, it was also good to extend a similar gesture to the security officers. Governor Matawale lamented that the majority of security personnel were retiring at a level when their services were most needed. Governor Matawale regretted that despite several measures his administration has taken to end banditry, the situation has persisted. Speaking earlier, the leader of the coalition of civil societies in the state, Adamu Kwatakwashi, said they were in Marundu town to express their support for the security policies introduced by the state government. On to the next story is FAC allocation drops to 2.1 trillion naira in 3 months. The Federal Account Allocation Committee allocation to the federal, state, local government declined to 2.18 trillion naira between January to March 2022. Data collected from different reports of the National Bureau of Statistics shows that in January 2022, the FAC disbursed 766.47 billion naira to the 3 tiers of government. This was from the total revenue generated in December 2021. The federal government received a total of 204.58 billion naira from the 692.86 billion naira, while the state and local government received a total of 179.25 billion naira and 131.88 billion naira respectively. Cumulatively, the sum of 2.18 trillion naira was disbursed by the FAC to the 3 arms of government in the first 3 months of 2022. Other remittances were made to the revenue-generating agencies comprising Nigerian Customs Service, Federal Inland Revenue Service, and Department of Petroleum Resources. Further breakdown of the disbursement showed remittance to FGN Consolidated Revenue Account, the share of derivation and ecology revenue for the development of natural resources, and allocation to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Moving on to the transportation sector, Lagos rail lines to be ready soon, says Governor Sanwo-Olu. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has said that the 2 rail line projects currently being constructed by his administration will be ready by 2023. Sanwo-Olu disclosed this while speaking during an interactive session with business leaders and private sector CEOs in Lagos recently. The meeting was organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. According to him, Lagos State will be on another 30 years journey in pursuit of physical development, social growth, and economic prosperity. The Lagos State Development Plan 2052, Sanwo-Olu said, would be officially rolled out at the forthcoming 9th Economic Summit of the state, known as Ihigbeti. The 30-year plan, the governor said, was developed with clear objectives from 4 strategic dimensions aimed at positioning the state to achieve its vision. Sanwo-Olu hinted that each of the 4 dimensions in the development plan would be achieved through over 400 policy initiatives to be implemented throughout the period. Governor Sanwo-Olu believed the plan would not be realized when the private sector, the drivers of the state economy, was not carried along in the implementation of the identified policy phases. The governor thanked the business community for supporting the state government in dealing with emerging issues in the challenging period of COVID-19 pushback, noting that the social burden could have worsened had the private sector not considered the government entreaty that prevented the massive retrenchment of workers. Sanwo-Olu used the occasion to roll out intervention initiated by the state government in the areas of infrastructure, transportation, education, healthcare, security, environment, and technology to improve the ease of doing business in Lagos. The governor expressed hope that the meeting would lead to creation of new pathways that would facilitate a more robust relationship with the private sector. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, the story continues. Stay with us.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You human
on the point of order.
They are not picking our calls.
Welcome back and glad you stay with us. We take a look at the next story is oil spillage. House of Rep members assures Odo community of compensation. The House of Representatives has said that the communities affected by oil spillage and explosion in Owoye Ilaje Local Council of Ondo State will be compensated. It also promised to ensure environmental justice for the people of the area. Chairman House Committee on Host Communities, Dumamene Deko, gave the assurance in Awoye, Ondo State on Friday during an on-the-spot assessment of the affected areas and to have interactions with the people on the level of damage to their communities. The state government delegation from the Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Health also joined the team led by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Banje Ajaka Deko, who disclosed that 3 House committees were represented in the delegation constituted at the plenary, said the team had come from Abuja to get facts and interact with the people living in the area and how the company responsible for the disaster could be liable to remediate, clean up, and compensate the victim. The committee chairman noted that the National Assembly, through the Petroleum Industry Act, has been able to provide solution to the menace. He urged all the operating firms to take environmental issues more seriously. Deco, however, stated that they couldn't decide on the matter until they submit their report to the National Assembly leadership, which will find a lasting solution to the menace. Meanwhile, the Ologbo of Obo, Oba Frederick Obateru Akinroto, while speaking on the community's ordeal, lamented their land, waters, and other sources of livelihood of the people had been utterly destroyed by oil exploration. Oba Akinroto said the people of the Niger Delta, who are the hands that laid the golden eggs for the nation, are suffering, stressing that it is high time the federal government prioritize the welfare of the people. He lauded the committees and Ondo State government for the proactive steps taken to redress the injustice done to the people and oil-producing communities at large. Moving over to Edo State, government orders monarchs to flush out criminals. The acting governor of Edo State, Comrade Philip Shaibu, has given marching order to all traditional rulers to engage local hunters and vigilantes to flush out criminal Fulani herdsmen in all the forests in the state. The governor gave the order at the end of an emergency security meeting with traditional rulers, opinion leaders, and security agencies in Benin City. Part of the resolutions, which was made available to journalists yesterday, also directed heads of the 18 local government council in the state to provide stipends and needed resources for the vigilante and hunters on a monthly basis to comb the forest and flush out the suspected criminals, and that traditional rulers would henceforth be held responsible for any act of kidnapping and terrorism that occurs in their respective domains. Everybody currently residing in any forest in Edo State in the guise of camping should vacate such areas with immediate effect. The acting governor has mandated all acting LGC heads to use all the security apparatus, including the police, army, vigilance group, hunters, and others, to forcefully remove any erring groups or individual within the next 10 days. Still on the Salah celebration, Governor Bala sues for peace and prays for bumper harvest. Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, has stressed the need for citizens to imbibe the spirit of forgiveness, humility, and respect for one another as they pray for peace and for adequate rainfall to ensure bumper harvest during the current farming season. In a message to mark Eid el-Kabir celebration in Bauchi, issued by his media aide Mutar Gidado, the governor recalled that the Holy Quran has commanded all Muslims to give something in charity out of the treasures which Allah has bestowed on them without consideration for religious, ethnic, or political differences. He said that the Eid el-Kabir is celebrated annually in commemoration of the great sacrifice and total submission of Prophet Muhammad to the will of Allah when he answered the divine call to sacrifice his only son, Prophet Ismail, describing it as the highest spiritual sacrifice that has ever been made in observance of divine injunction. The governor noted that the sacrifice is worthy of emulation, especially by the Muslim Ummah, saying the Eid el-Kabir occasion should be used to reflect on how we have fared morally and spiritually during the last 1 year, so as to take corrective measures when necessary for us to be amongst the believers who will enjoy the mercies of Allah in the hereafter, while asking the Muslim faithful to strengthen their existence, interpersonal relationship, and create new ones. The governor reiterated his administration commitment to continue to serve the people of the state and to take Bauchi to greater heights. Mohammed explained that as a responsive and responsible government, however, they will continue to render palliative measures with a view to cushioning the effect of the hardship and appeal to the people to make some sacrifices to ensure that the hardship is overcome. Moving on to the next story is NEMA, 13 bodies recovered from Lagos boat accidents. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has recovered 13 more bodies from the ill-fated boat sailing from Mile 2 to Ibeshe, a suburb of Lagos, on Saturday. NEMA Zone Coordinator in the Southwest, Mr. Ibrahim Fariloye, made a disclosure in a statement on Sunday in Lagos. Fariloye said a total of 17 bodies had been recovered so far from the recovery operations of the missing victims. The coordinator said that illegal boat operators plying the waterways beyond the stipulated official hours led to this avoidable death. He said that the act was a gross violation of the regulations of the waterways guidelines for operators. He said that efforts were on to address the gaps with all stakeholders such as the Nigerian Navy Special Boat Service, the Association of Boat Ferry Operators of Nigeria, and the Lagos State Waterways Authority, amongst others. We'll move over to Gombe State. 440 health workers' employment approved. The governor of Gombe State, Inuwa Yahaya, has approved the employment of 440 health workers to be deployed to the various primary health facilities across the state. The governor had, within the last 3 years, provided primary health care centers in 114 wards of the state and promised to also provide adequate manpower in the health facilities. In line with that, the governor directed the recruitment of the new health workers to be posted to the centers. He said the chairman of the State Committee for Human Resources for Health, Dr. James Madi, who disclosed the governor's directive yesterday in a press release, explained that applications for the job would be opened on Wednesday. He says the recruitment is informed by Governor Inowa's resolve to address the chronic shortage of skilled health workers needed to provide the basic minimum package of health services, especially at the primary level, which is the foundation of health system. We take a look at the agricultural sector. Federal government gives 300 farmers pasture seed in the Federal Capital Territory. As part of activities to mark the declaration of the National Pastures Day in the Federal Capital Territory, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has donated 25 kg bags of pasture seed to 300 farmers in the Federal Capital Territory. This is even as it declared 28th June an annual National Pasture Planting Day, handing over the seed to the farmers at Piako Kore, Gwagwalada Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, during the flag off of the federal government's National Pasture Planting Program. The Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, said it is to encourage private and public sector investment in commercial pasture production. He said the program was one of the continuous efforts in promoting intentional pasture development in Nigeria. Speaking further, the minister said, our current ranking by FAO is 15th in the world in cattle, 5th in sheep and 3rd in goats, and 17th in camel farming. The continuous extensive system of production is not a viable option since the land area for grazing and feed availability are severely limiting factors in the high livestock producing zones of Nigeria. It is therefore very necessary and top priority that all players in the industry focus on meeting the huge demand for pasture. He says this will give a great opportunity to unlock the potential of the livestock industry and the development of its rich value chains. The event featured the distribution of pasture seed and ceremonial pasture seed planting. Moving over to the Senate, House of Assembly takes 3% of Nigerians' budget, says Tokumbo. Senator for Lagos East, Senator Tokumbo Abiru, says the National Assembly consumes less than 3% of Nigeria's annual budget. Abiru stated this while reacting to assertions in some quarters that maintaining the legislature takes up a huge chunk of the nation's resources. The former CEO of Polaris Bank said that many people erroneously assume that emolument of legislators is all there is to the National Assembly budget. He said that beside emolument of legislators, constituency offices have to be maintained and backroom staff have to be compensated. He said, I have heard people say that the emolument of the legislator is a huge chunk of the country's budget. However, the total package of the legislature is under 3% of the nation's budget. I have worked out those numbers and I have my fact and figure. Also, the pay includes the monthly salaries of legislators and support for the constituency offices. The National Assembly is in Abuja and lawmakers have to shuttle between their and their various constituency offices across the country. We go on a quick break. When we return, the story unfolds. Stay with us.
country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order,
Honorable
on the point.
They are not bringing our cause. They made up their minds. I am the best.
Welcome back. And the next highlight is on polio eradication. Governor Lalong and the biker Adeyanju restate commitment. Plateau State Governor Simon Baku Lalong and Kule Adeyinjo, the diaspora biker who rode from Lagos to Nigeria, have restated commitment towards polio eradication, sport and tourism development in Plateau State. Kule and Lalong made this commitment while in Jos at the weekend as part of his advocacy for the fight against polio. The duo met at the oldest golf course in Nigeria, Rayfield 1913. According to Adeyanju, he was going around the country to encourage Nigerians to keep on doing what they can do to fight against polio so that the disease will not come back again. Adeyanju stated that just last week, polio was recorded in the United Kingdom and also reiterated the fact that Malawi, Cote d'Ivoire, and Togo still have polio. Therefore, it is very important for the country to sustain its effort to permanently kick polio out of Nigeria so that polio will never return. On his part, the governor congratulated Kunle Adeyanju for a successful trip from London and also welcomed him to Plateau State, describing him as a hero and worthy ambassador of the nation. Lalong also appreciated his effort in fighting against polio, a disease which he said did a lot of damage to Nigeria and took a very long time to be checked. The Plateau governor told Adeyanju that he is a major donor in the fight against polio by his reason of being a member of the Rotary International, a body that has led in the fight against polio globally. Lalong assured him that the government of Plateau State will continue to do its best to not only address polio-related matters, but also handle other diseases that pose a threat to public health and safety. Governor Lalong also told Adeyanju that his administration has continued to create the right atmosphere for tourism and sport to thrive, thereby making it possible for more people to visit Plateau State for leisure and business. Lalong used the opportunity to appeal to Adeyanju to use the benefits of his visit to Plateau State to send out the correct information about the fact that a new plateau that is peaceful, accommodating, and investor-friendly has emerged from the sustained effort of the rescue administration. Moving on to the presidency, President Buhari hails veteran actor Olu Jacobs at 80. The President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, on Sunday joined Nollywood and professional actors at home and abroad to celebrate stage and screen icon Olu Jacobs on his 80th birthday, July 11, 2022. President Buhari's congratulatory message was contained in a statement signed on Sunday by his special advisor on media and publicity titled, President Buhari joins Nollywood in celebrating Olu Jacobs at 80. According to Adeshino, the president facilitates with the Jacobs family, including the wife, also a renowned thespian, Joke Sylvia, and their friends on the auspicious occasion, which calls for thanksgiving for God's grace, guidance, and protection. As the actor turns 80, the president noted that Jacob's ingenious ability to interpret roles, simplify complex issues, and bring messages to the understanding of both young and old, leveling cultural, ethnic, and religious barriers to become a household name all over the country and beyond. Largely stereotyped as a father and voice of wisdom in most movies. President Buhari believes Olu Jacob's natural tendency to counsel, inspire, and instruct easily earned him the roles, while appreciating his foresight in winning many into the profession and guiding them to stardom. The president therefore prayed that the Almighty God will grant him better health, longer life, and steadfastness in service to the art, God, and humanity. Moving on to Kaduna State, Governor El-Rufai engages stakeholders on Kafanchang Municipal Authority. Governor Nasiru El-Rufai has clarified that Kaduna State government established metropolitan authorities so as to drive development closer to the people and bring government to their doorsteps. El-Rufai, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Malam Balarabe Abbas Lawal, made this known at the inauguration of Early Warning Response and Strategy Committee at Kafanchan. The governor pointed out that the metropolitan authorities will not attain the goals they were set up to achieve in isolation. That was why the stakeholders' engagement on Kafanchan Municipal Authority was convened. According to him, components of the Kaduna Urban Renewal Project are included in the function of Metropolitan Authority as provided for in the law establishing them in September 2022. Governor El-Rufai listed construction of roads, provision of mass transit, housing, and improved land use, as well as providing street lights, parks, and recreation centers, including markets and neighborhood centers, as well as waste management as some of the function of the metropolitan authorities. The administrator of Kafanchang Municipal Authority, Mrs. Phoebe Suki Yayi, has promised that the 2,275-kilometer road contract that were awarded 2 weeks ago will be completed by November if everything goes on as planned. The administrator praised Governor Nasiru El-Rufai for extending the infrastructural development of Kaduna State beyond the capital city, recalling that when the urban renewal projects were flagged off, critics says that it was focused mainly around Kaduna town. And this is how far we'll draw the curtain onto this edition of the program, Government and Public Service. This is where we X-ray present issues and happenings around the three branches, levels, associated ministries, agencies, and departments of government, giving you an in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage. And just in case you miss on the rest of the conversation, not to worry, you can simply catch us on our Facebook and YouTube channel is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. And on Twitter is Atlantic TV Nets. Remember, peace and unity are the pathway to progress. Thanks for watching and being a part of the program. I am Patience Obot. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
These people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable Speaker,
You human.
Honorable Speaker,
You
present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810-634-1777. ATN Icons celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election here? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194 or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human trafficker.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human trafficker.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
so no agreement with the EU, but